everybody. Welcome back to the Covenant Eyes podcast. Karen Potter here. Got Rob Stoddard joining me. How are you, Rob?
Good, Karen. Good.
Good.
Enjoying NRB. Been busy week. Lots of people, but a lot of great conversations,
Absolutely. We're about to have another great conversation with Dr. Saundra, who joined us last year at NRB. I believe it was last year. Maybe it was the year before.
I think so.
They kind of all run together, but she has got an amazing new book out, and we're going to talk more about that today. Dr. Saundra, thank you for joining us today.
It is my pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, you've been busy. You've got another book that's come out. So can you talk to us a little bit about the premise of what's behind the book?
Yes, well, this book, Being Fully Known, The Joyful Satisfaction of Beholding, Becoming, and Belonging, is really all about getting to that place of rest in our identity, where we are not in performance mode, we're not limited by our past traumas and experiences, and we are using all of that to step into the things God has for us.
Amazing. And so many of us are eager to learn how to do that, so I think this book is going to be really helpful because I think a lot of us find our identity in work, and we're always seeking to, try to figure out what is our purpose, what is our plan, all these things. But sometimes we need to step back and rest and just let God direct our steps. So talk to us a little bit about what readers could learn from this book when it comes out soon.
Well, I love what you just shared because I think sometimes we don't take that time to be able to reassess where am I at in my journey.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I talk about is something I call the Abide Act framework.
Okay.
So it's a 10-week process that you do throughout the year where you spend 2 weeks of abiding. You actually don't try to focus on just checking off another box or accomplishing something very specific. The accomplishment in those 2 weeks is abiding with God, getting clarity about the next step so that we don't get too far off track. Yeah. And then from that knowledge, we act. We move into those 8 weeks of action with Him.
Wow. And that's got to be tricky because, for us to be silent, be still, and to take a pause and not worry about the checklist, that takes a lot of discipline. It takes focus. How does a person move into a space where they can actually do that? Because we have so many distractions. Our phones are, dinging and binging at us all day long. How do we step into that space?
Well, you're exactly right. It takes practice.
Okay.
And my first book on the topic of rest, called Sacred Rest, was all about the practical, the framework. I discussed 7 different types of rest: the physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, social, sensory, and creative.
Yeah.
And so what I found was there were specific types of rest that people continue to struggle with. And it had more to do with a misunderstanding or a refusal to step into the Psalms 46:10, be still and know.
Yes.
We do and know, but can we be still and know?
Yeah.
And I think allowing ourselves to take moments of reflection on who God is, realizing that what we see in Him, specifically what we see, because what you see may not be what I see, and allowing us to realize that's a mirror reflection of ourselves. We are drawn to the parts of Him that reflect what's inside of us.
So
Dr. Saundra, one of the things we always hear from people, Christians, is how do I really know what God's leading me to do? How do I know I'm in the space that God wants me to be? Does the book speak to that issue a little bit?
It does, and it goes even a little step further because I think part of the reason we don't do that is because we fear messing it up.
No.
It would be like going to a good father and say, I tried, and getting a spanking. He doesn't do that.
Right.
I think we sometimes think that failure is like, oh, it didn't work out the way that I expected. Sometimes the way that the benefit of the doing is the obedience. It's not that it turned out the way that you had exactly expected it to happen, but that you said yes. You gave a surrendered yes. You moved with God and allow ourselves to even find those moments when it doesn't work out, we're a little disappointed. Let that be a part of the victory. At least I tried.
That's right.
And
there's so much to be learned in our failures or our shortcomings. Oftentimes we try to skirt past those and just brush them under the rug and move on to the next thing. But sometimes we need to take a minute and reflect on those things because there's lessons to be learned, wisdom to be gleaned, those types of things. Well, talk to us a little bit. Do you have a website where people can learn more about your ministry and things like that? What kind of resources and help do you offer people on your website?
Yes, so the website is ichoosemybestlife.com.
Okay.
The books are available there, as well as we do a lot with coaching and counseling. Because sometimes oftentimes your traumas are reflected in how you're responding, the choices that you're making. And then we have a podcast by the same name, I Choose My Best Life.
Awesome. That's great.
It's so wonderful to see somebody that really gets to that spot in feels God's presence in their life, they like you said, whether it's a great result or not, it's that inner peace that we have when we really reach where we know God has placed us and done that. And so helping people find that is just a wonderful piece. So if you had to say one word to our audience, of sum this up and give them just some direction, one thing to say, what would that be?
It would be in relation to the subtitle, because I believe most of the time when we take moments to behold him, it gives us greater vision on who we are becoming. Not becoming more of anything, but becoming more aware of what's already inside of us. And it opens up opportunities for us to step into true places of belonging, where we're not trying to fit in, but we found the place where we uniquely fit, where we are sharing an expression of him in a way that is needed.
That's so
that's
good.
wonderful.
Well, awesome. To all of our listeners out there, you're going to want to get your hands on this book. You can visit her website, or it will be Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the places.
Yes.
Okay, good. Nowadays, they're everywhere, right? You can go everywhere. Well, great. To all of our listeners, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Dr. Saundra, it's been a joy to have you on the podcast. Thank you for your thoughtful, careful work on this book as well. We appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.